Hello friends, this is your friend back with a new fanfic. What if God Like Naruto got harem with Sasuke and bashing? If you like this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Now, let's start. Chapter 1. Do You Love Me? The Fourth Shinobi War was over. Allied elemental nations managed to defeat the god of demon Jubi, the ten-tailed beasts. But victory came at a heavy price. Many heroes died, many lost a limb or two. Children lost their fathers and wives lost their husband. It was a bittersweet victory. Battle would have been lost if weren't two great heroes, Naruto Uzumaki and traitor turned into Ali Uchiha Sasuke, who at the end moment joined the battle and brought them victory. Sasuke, thank you, Naruto said in a small voice as he eyed village from the top of Hokage Mountain. Sasuke replied. A nostalgic smile appeared on Naruto's face when he heard his friend's response. Sasuke saw it and began to wonder that why his blonde friend was so obsessed with him. Naruto, Sasuke called. Tem. Naruto responded while gazing at the beautiful setting sun. His hair seemed like they were on fire, his blue eyes shining with bitter happiness. Do you have feelings for me? Sasuke asked casually. What? Naruto screamed in outrage. Do you love me? Sasuke asked again. Who gave you such absurd idea? I don't know about you, but I am totally straight, not even bi. Got it? He asked rather forcefully while shaking Sasuke. Well, you are the one who forced yourself on me and stole my first kiss, Sasuke said nonchalantly. It was an accident, damn it. Naruto growled. Quit denying it, Naruto. Kabuto told me what you did to Orochimaru when he claimed me as his. I might say you are quite possessive. You went berserk and used 4 tael worth of charka against him, Sasuke accused. That has nothing to do with it. You are my friend. I just didn't like the way he claimed you as his. Naruto tried to defend himself as a light blush found its way on his cheek. Oh, so what about all those sappy things you said to me, huh? I won't let Orochimaru have you, you said rather passionately when we fought in the Valley of the End. What kind of Hokage I wound make if I can't even save a single friend? You said that when we first met after 3 years. I will burden your hatred and we will die together, you said that when I killed that one-eyed bastard. Now Sasuke had a full-blown grin on his face instead of his usual smirk, and Naruto's face was redder than his mother's hair. I didn't, Naruto shuddered with no avail as he began to think. Now I think about it, I was quite infuriated with Sasuke, even when I was a kid. Damn, I like girls, right? Even if I unknowingly have these feelings for him, it doesn't mean I can't change them. Yay, Hinata-chan is waiting for my answer. He has his clan to restore, so do I, and Ero Sennin would kill me if I become a gay. Naruto thought, or so he thought, but due to sudden realization of his feelings and pressure Sasuke was putting on him, he inadvertently blabbered everything very loudly. Sasuke seemed pensive after his declaration and began to lean in for a kiss. Naruto suddenly turned his face around to clear up the misunderstanding just to feel Sasuke's soft lips on his own. They both melted in kiss and Naruto felt Sasuke's tongue licking at his lower lips. Naruto's eyes widened and he quickly bolted back as if he was bitten by a poisonous snake. Sasuke, what the hell do you think you're doing, Tem? Naruto screamed while wiping his lips in disgust. What is it, dope? You didn't like it? Sasuke asked in almost sad and cute voice. I thought he looked cute. What the hell is wrong with me? Naruto shouted while pulling his hairs, making Sasuke giggle in a girlish manner. Naruto stared at him incredulously as if he had grown wings or something. Oh wait, he could grow wings, but that was a long time ago when he had Orochimaru's freaky cursed seal on him. Sasuke, what happened to you? Naruto asked in fright when Sasuke began to advance toward him. Nothing, Naruto-koi, I am just returning your feelings, Sasuke said seductively while nibbling on his ear. Naruto shuddered when Sasuke called him the love, his life, or maybe because the way he sensually chewed on his earlobe. I might have feelings for you, but I am straight. I am sorry, I need to go and see Hinata-chan, bye. Naruto said hurriedly and pulled back. But he didn't get a chance to use the body flicker technique as Sasuke got hold of his hand and slammed him against a spiky lock of Yondaimi's stone head. If you ever dare to say any other girl's name that affectionately, again, I will have no other choice but to punish you, Sasuke said threateningly as his Sharingan blazed into life. You are out of your mind, Datbeo. Naruto exclaimed and began to struggle. Besides, you have a clan to rebuild and you never liked me to begin with, he added in hopes pursuing the fuming Uchiha. Sasuke let go of Naruto and began to walk away. Naruto felt bad but there was nothing he could do. They both had to marry girls so they can restore their respective clans. Naruto, I never hated you. I found you annoying, idiotic and an inadequate ninja, Sasuke began to say while Naruto snorted. Shut up and listen, Sasuke commanded while Naruto nodded frightfully. Sasuke's eyes reminded him of Sakura's, shut the hell up, look. Satisfied by Dobi's obedience, he began to speak again. I thought all bonds are weakness and that's why I tried to sever them, but you kept coming after me. I couldn't bring myself to kill you at the Valley of the End. When we met after 3 years I thought I was too tainted to be with you and tried to push you away. Before I killed Itachi, he sealed Orochimaru's powers completely and released his hold from me. I thought we can be together but Obito got me first. He told me the truth behind the Uchiha massacre, and I couldn't forget it. I had to take my revenge and kill that one-eyed bastard, Danzo. You know I wasn't actually going to kill Sakura after my battle with Danzo. I knew Kakashi was nearby and he would save her. I pretended to put a fight but I was actually planning to die by his hands so Sakura or you don't have to taint your hands with my blood, but again you showed up and pissed me off. Sasuke had a bittersweet smile on his face while Naruto was staring at him with wide eyes. Obito took me with him and gave me Itachi's eyes. I was planning to refuse him but when I learned about the fourth shinobi. I was furious, Sasuke said with unrestrained fury in his eyes. Yay, he was planning to turn the whole world into his mindless puppets. Anybody would be furious, Naruto said in hopes of starting a different conversation as he knew that if he heard even a single more sentence, he would seriously kiss the daylight out of Sasuke. No, I didn't give a about that. He disregarded Naruto's confused stare. I really don't care about any else, not even Sakura and Kakashi. I accepted his offer because he was going to extract Kyuubi from you and that would have killed you. I needed Itachi's eyes powers to stop him, Sasuke said passionately as he held Naruto's gaze. Sasuke, I don't know, I just. Naruto first time in 16 years of his life had nothing to say. He was so confused by the sudden revelation that it left him unable to say something coherent. Hey dope, if I was a female would you date me? And answer truthfully or I will become a missing nin again, Sasuke joked, but Naruto thought he was being serious and engulfed him in a bone-crushing hug. Don't leave me, I will even consider dating you. Just give me some time, said Naruto seriously. And you know how persistent I am. I would again drag you back kicking and screaming, Naruto joked, but Sasuke knew that his idiot would leave everything behind for him. Hey, dope you didn't answer my question, he whispered enjoying Naruto's body warmth. Yes Tem, I would have totally dated you if you were a girl, Naruto said truthfully. Good, Sasuke whispered. Body shifting technique release. He shouted. Chapter 2, Sexy Jutsu. Hey, dope you didn't answer my question, he whispered enjoying Naruto's body warmth. Yes Tem, I would have totally dated you if you were a girl, Naruto said truthfully. Good, Sasuke whispered. Body shifting technique release. Sasuke shouted. What the hell? Naruto uttered, startled by the sudden change in his companion's body. Previously it felt muscular and rock hard, and creepy to hold. He was straight after all, but now all of a sudden Sasuke's body felt good and pleasant to hold, very pleasant. Now it was much plumier, soft and delicate to touch. Had Sasuke always smelled so good? And what is this soft thing pushing against my chest? Holy shit. Now I am taller than Sasuke, Naruto thought absent-mindedly as he suddenly began to feel good, and he unconsciously pulled Sasuke closer, smothering Sasuke against his firm chest. Sasuke blushed profoundly when she felt Naruto's rock-hard chest against her two very plump and voluptuous orbs. She herself was surprised by her growth as she hadn't released this jutsu for almost 9 years since Itachi butchered her clan. She didn't know that her body had developed this much. Wait, what if Dobi didn't like it? He always liked Sakura and she is flat as board, she thought little self-consciously, and tightened her grip around Naruto's neck, inadvertently pulling his nose near in curve of her neck, though she gasped when Naruto deeply inhaled her scent and buried his face there. Her breath hitched when he tickled her with his nose and grazed her delicate skin with his sharp canine. Naruto, she moaned in pleasure at his action as his hands slowly traveled all over her narrow back. Naruto was in heaven. He didn't know what was he doing, but her scent was driving him crazy, though he still didn't know that Sasuke was actually a she. He didn't care as her previously faint scent got insanely strong after whatever Sasuke did. Sasuke is releasing pheromones or something, he thought in a daze, as he nibbled on her smooth silky white skin. He felt animalistic, raw and hungry for Sasuke, hungry for the flesh of his best friend, and all logic flew out of the window when he heard Sasuke's melodious voice moaning his name. He ran his hand all over her narrow back and wide hips. Wait a minute, Sasuke's voice melodious. When did that happen? Oh shit, was Sasuke always this cuddly and soft? And smells so good? Naruto thought in panic. He let his hands travel down and grabbed her wide plump squeezable ass. Holy shit, Sasuke's hips are wider than Hinata-chan. And his mind exploded as he tried to comprehend the situation he was in. Sasuke moaned again when she felt Naruto's hands squeezing her firm tight ass, though he stopped all of a sudden. Maybe he didn't like it. She panicked when she felt him freeze. She didn't know whether she could be considered desirable or not, as most of her life she was chased down by girls, so maybe she wasn't very feminine. After a few seconds, Naruto's brain rebooted and all data finished processing as he pulled back to take a good look of Sasuke. Sasuke felt him pull away, so she also reluctantly let go of him, though not before smother his chest with her plumiers as if warning him that what he was loosing. She smirked when she heard him growl. Maybe she wasn't as unfeminine as she first thought. Holt shit, how the hell you come up with such look? Naruto asked in bafflement as he stared at her female form, though Sasuke took his reaction as rejection and covered hers with her hands. She looked dejected that he didn't like her real appearance. What, you didn't like it? Sasuke snapped while trying to stop herself from breaking into hysterical sobs and tried to cover her disappointment and hurt with her fake anger. Are you kidding me? I am asking you. How the hell a prude like you come up with such sexy, oh wait, sexy doesn't even begin to describe the beauty you're imitating. I mean, just look at your sexy jutsu, it is 1,000 times sexier than mine. Your perfect heart-shaped face, pale yet alluring complexion, long eyelashes, and grayish-black eyes, such juicy and kissable cheery pink lips. Now this face is the very definition of perfection. I thought my Ka-san was the hottest babe I ever met in my life, but damn it. Your sexy jutsu makes her look pale in comparison. Naruto mumbled, awed by the beauty in front of him, and unknowingly praised her. While Naruto was blabbering praises for her supposed sexy jutsu, she was blushing like crazy. He really finds me this attractive, Sasuke thought in a daze as her eyes shone with unrestrained happiness. She felt more confident and proud about herself, and her heart swelled with love. Her love for him increased, if that even possible, but he was so sweet without even trying that she couldn't help herself from falling more and deeper in love with him. She felt lightheaded. He liked her. No, he loved real her. Now just one thing remained, telling him that she was actually a she and always have been, and getting him to ask her on a date. What about my body? She questioned timidly while biting her lower lip, almost afraid as she really didn't take care of her body while training in her male form, so she didn't know whether she was appealing to him or not. He didn't praise her feminine assets like he did her facial features, and so she felt uncertain as he liked more subtly developed girls like Sakura, and she could tell that she was quite gifted. I am getting to that. Geez, wait a second, you praise the hungry beast. As I was saying, your sexy jutsu is incredible but not convincing, Naruto said seriously, making her confused by his choice of words. What he meant by not convincing. I am ugly or unfeminine, she thought in panic as she ran her hand through her thick midnight black locks, checking if she was presentable or not. Another thing, Sasuke, girls' hairs are shiny, they smell good and they can be super pretty, but you're not stunning or beautiful, Naruto said seriously, and Sasuke felt her heart sinking. What happened? I thought he liked me, she cried in her head as she eyed the object of her affection intensely. What do you mean? And why are you circling around me? She yelled at him when he began to circle him while staring at her intensely. Why are you fidgeting? It's not you're actually a girl, Naruto joked. I am stupid. She wanted to snap at him but didn't due to embarrassment. I mean, come on, Sasuke. You may be some hot chick magnet, but even your female version can't this sexy and mesmerizing. Well, sexy is not enough to describe it, what about super duper ridiculously sexy? Yeah, that sounded right. And Sasuke, that is your mistake. You made your sexy jutsu way too sexy and hot. Even a blind man can tell that a girl this hot and mesmerizing can't exist in reality, maybe in heaven where angel resides but not in mortal world. It is just ethereal and impossible for a girl this beautiful to exist, Naruto said smartly, and folded his hand in front of his chest and began to nod in satisfaction that he found so many faults in Sasuke's sexy jutsu. While he was grinning and nodding in satisfaction like a gullible sweet idiot he was, Sasuke was also grinning like a fool. She couldn't believe that he found her so beautiful. But why did he say she isn't beautiful before? But you said I am not beautiful, she asked meekly, though her eyes were full of excitement and life. She was feeling euphoric, like she was soaring high in the sky, though her demeanor didn't betray her as she seemed calm and composed as ever. Because you're not beautiful, right now, your very definition of perfection. Naruto exclaimed cheerfully. Your hairs are so shine and smooth looking. You smell so intoxicating that I feel drunk just by standing beside you, and your beauty, I just can't describe it. I think Ero Sennin would have died again by blood loss if saw someone as pretty as you're looking right now. You screwed up facial feature by going overboard as it is simply unbelievable, but you did an excellent job with curves, they are perfect. Small slender hands, long neck, perfect shoulders, a nice firm pair of D-cup tits, narrow waist which flared out perfectly into your smack-able wide plump, and your firm long legs, yay, just perfect, Naruto mumbled in a dazed state of mind as he eyed her hungrily. So, you would totally date me if I actually look like this? She questioned with a gleeful smile as she also eyed him with equal intensity. Her insides burning with passion and impossible amount of love, it was like love was flowing through her veins instead of blood. Are you kidding me? If you were that pretty, I would have pushed you down and took you over and over till you forget everything except my name, Naruto almost growled, and tried to hide his visible erection. Good, she said smugly before jumping on him. Chapter 3, Naruto the Idiot. So, you would totally date me if I actually look like this? Misaki questioned him with a gleeful smile as she also eyed him with equal intensity. Her innards were burning with passion and impossible amount of love, it was like love was flowing through her veins instead of blood. Are you kidding me? If you were that pretty, I would have pushed you down and took you over and over till you forget everything except my name, Naruto almost growled, and tried to hide his visible erection. Good, Misaki said smugly before jumping on Naruto. Naruto barely managed to support their weight as he tumbled backwards when Misaki's soft body collided with his own, though he lost his footing and fell against one of Fourth Hokage's rocky spiky hair lock when he felt his best friend's now extremely kissable lips hungrily yet gently creasing his own lips. Misaki didn't plan to crash on him with her full weight, but her legs couldn't carry her own weight. It was mostly like due to the sudden change in her limb proportions. Misaki's brain became so used to her male form that it was having trouble adjusting to her new voluptuous and busty vixen-like form. But Misaki paid no heads to such minor details as she knew in hours her brain would adjust to her new feminine body, though Misaki wouldn't be able to battle at her full potential for a few months due to lack of her muscle memory. Her muscle memory would build over time, but that could wait as Misaki was feeling way too good, or the best she had ever felt in her life, to care about her lost battle prowess. Heat waves of pleasure coursed through both Naruto and Misaki as they kissed each other hungrily. Naruto was so consumed by the lust that he even forgot that he was kissing his best friend, who wasn't a female. Without caring anymore, Naruto gathered Misaki in his arms. Misaki's face exploded with color when she felt his arms circling around her now tiny form, but what made her more uncomfortable, Misaki was having a blast, was Naruto's large erection. I never knew Naruto-kun is so big, Misaki thought while blushing furiously when Naruto made her sit on his large and manly member. Misaki was grateful that his sword was clothed, as she would have certainly passed out if Naruto's was directly touching her. Not that I don't want to do it with Naruto-kun, but I first need to train this body or Naruto-kun will tear me apart, Misaki thought with little regret. Misaki knew she had to train very hard in order to regain her former strength, as releasing her body transformation technique had caused her to lose all her body strength. Misaki even had to relearn taijutsu from the scratch, but she really didn't care because Naruto liked her new appearance. No, Naruto-kun loves it. He was so enchanted and feral when he was staring at me with his half-lidded and lustful blue eyes. I never saw him acting like that in front of some other girl. Misaki was so happy that she could have squealed, and she really did, when Naruto suddenly began to nibble on her lower lips as if asking for permission. Misaki wanted to grant him permission, but her shy nature prevented her from doing so. Naruto growled at her disobedience and began to massage her soft, juicy lips with his own. Naruto felt her stiffen when he applied more pressure and began to move his lips more rhythmically with her softer ones. Misaki let out a small moan of pleasure when Naruto smothered her lips hungrily. When Naruto heard Misaki moaning, he thought that nothing could sound more melodious and delicious than the sound of Misaki's pleasure-filled moans. Naruto loved that sound and Misaki made more of that sound when he moved his lips, and Naruto had no problem with that as kissing her was the most enjoyable activity he had ever participated in his whole life. Naruto tightly grounded Misaki's clothed core against his hard blistering member and began to grind against her softness, which earned him more of those delicious sounds as Misaki moaned against his lips in unparalleled pleasure. Misaki always thought that nothing could be more satisfying and pleasurable than killing Orochimaru the second time. But the pleasure Naruto was giving her was just unworldly. Naruto's large member rubbing her burning core, his hands tightly, pressing her down against his firm body and feeling of his lips moving against was almost too much. If Naruto continued, she would fall apart into tiny pieces. Naruto could feel the heat emitted by Misaki's blistering core and smell of her arousal was driving him insane. He just wanted to rip her clothes and taste her, but restrained himself, and it was a feat considering that he still wasn't sure whether the girl above him was even a girl or not. Naruto was just running on instinct and his desire to produce those delicious and melodious sounds. Naruto applied more pressure on Misaki's lips and deepened the kiss. He began to nibble on her lower lip then on upper and began to switch forth. Naruto captured her lower lip between his lips and began to suck on them, making Misaki squeal, and Naruto used that opportunity to slip his tongue in her mouth. Misaki almost exploded right there when she felt Naruto's tongue slowly licking its way through her soft lips, then her inner lips, and finally penetrating her mouth. Misaki showed courage and caressed his tongue with her pink appendage. Misaki heard Naruto groan huskily when she massaged his tongue. Misaki liked Naruto's resounding deep voice as he groaned in pleasure. Her confidence soared when Naruto began to massage back her tongue and explored her cavity. Naruto ran his tongue over Misaki's canine and began to penetrate deeper and ran his tongue all over the mouth while savoring her sweet honey-like taste. Misaki let Naruto had his fun as she gained more confidence and began to tangle her tongue with Naruto's more fervently. Naruto felt Misaki trying to push his tongue out, but he overpowered her and tangled his tongue with Misaki's and luxuriously took another detour. Their tongues began to dance in an erotic rhythm as they dove into the sea of passion. Naruto finally let Misaki push him out her mouth and quickly opened his mouth when he felt Misaki's tongue desperately licking all over his lips. Now it was Misaki's turn to explore while Naruto affectionately caressed her. "He tastes like ramen, why I am not surprised," Misaki thought affectionately while running her tongue over his sharp canine, and moaned when he began to gently suck on her tongue, though the moans soon escalated to whimpers of mercy when Naruto suddenly dug his fingers in her plump hand and began to thrust upward from a new angle. Misaki could only moan and whimper as Naruto's began to rub against her opening and swallownoris. After a particularly hard thrust, Misaki's world exploded in a million colors as she experienced her first orgasm. "I am coming," Misaki screamed while throwing her head back as the ripples after the ripples of pleasure shoot out from her very core, like her world had shattered, and she clenched to Naruto for her very life as she squirted all over his orange pants. "That was amazing," managed to mutter as Misaki rested her head against Naruto's chest. Misaki was feeling very faint. She never felt more exhausted in her whole life. Her first orgasm ripped the very life out of her. If Naruto could bring her this much pleasure just by kissing and grinding, then she would definitely die if Naruto ever entered her. The thought was scary, but Misaki was more than ready to take the bullet, and Naruto hadn't come yet. Misaki frowned and reprimanded herself for coming before Naruto. "Don't worry, Naruto-kun, I will make you feel good too," Misaki thought, and bravely moved her hand and grasped Naruto's pulsating member and began to gently massage his massive appendage. Naruto still seemed dazed, but he broke out of his stupor when he felt Misaki massaging. Oh. Naruto groaned when her soft hands touched his, but he resolved himself to push her off, though his confidence wavered when Naruto felt Misaki's soft lips trailing ghostly over his neck to back of his ear. Naruto almost creamed his pants from combined pleasure when Misaki began to rub her plump, voluptuous against his chest and nibbled his earlobe with her sharp teeth and impossibly soft lips while giving him the most amazing handjob ever, not that he had any previous experience to compare with other than the times he masturbated. No, this is wrong. No matter how amazing and real Sasuke's transformation seems, he is still a man. I mustn't give in, Naruto thought with gritted teeth and summoned last of his strength to push Misaki off him, though Naruto immediately regretted his action when he saw a hurt on Misaki's face. Chapter 4, Her Son. Oh. Naruto groaned when her soft hands touched his, but he resolved himself to push her off, though his confidence wavered when Naruto felt Misaki's soft lips trailing ghostly over his neck to back of his ear. Naruto almost creamed his pants from combined pleasure when Misaki began to rub her plump, voluptuous against his chest and nibbled his earlobe with her sharp teeth and impossibly soft lips whilst giving him the most amazing hand job ever, not that he had any previous experience to compare with other than the times he masturbated. No, this is wrong. No matter how amazing and real Sasuke's transformation seems, he is still a man. I mustn't give in, Naruto thought with the gritted teeth and summoned the last ounce of his strength to push off Misaki, though Naruto immediately regretted his action when he saw the hurt expression on Misaki's face. Why did you push me away, Naruto-kun? Inquired Misaki, feeling little hurt because of Naruto's sudden rejection towards her advances. Naruto gulped and tried to concentrate at the matter on his hand or rather on his lap whilst ignoring Misaki's certainly too hot to be true body. Maybe I can copy this transformation and try it with my clone, Naruto thought, though he quickly banished the disturbing images from his head. After finally regaining some of his sanity, well as much sanity as a hot-blooded male could attain under the given circumstances. His circumstances included a hotter-than-the-hell girl begging to be loved, definitely loved. And his sword demanding to be, well, you got the big picture. Sasuke, I don't know if I love you like that or not, even if I did, I am pretty sure that I am straight. Well, maybe bisexual to some extent, but I am certain it's due to my upbringing, not by preference, so, please try to understand that I can't. Well, get in a relation with another GUI. I mean, I promised to give my late mother like 6 Uzumaki children. So, you see, I don't think you are creepy, but please release this transformation or I might, damn it. Naruto bubbled and shuddered as he tried to shudder out whatever his superhuman brain tried to supply, though being a genius Uchiha Misaki was, she finally understood what he wanted to say and blushed to her roots at the 6 Uzumaki children part. He still hasn't realized, yet. Maybe I should tease him more, Misaki thought, though she quickly banished such thought from her mind. As much as I would love to enjoy his cute naivete, I have already wasted too much time in this meaningless banter. My fragile body be damned, I want him now. Let's give your mother some Uzumaki babies right now. Misaki growled as she eyed Naruto hungrily. God gracious, how much had she missed? And Kami, was he always this deviously delicious? Even Naruto's confused, scared and somehow at the same time cute face was igniting a quench deep inside Misaki's belly, and she could feel that the boxers she was wearing was getting soaked due to the heat she was excreting along with some other things from her maidenhood. Naruto-kun, this is my true form. I was female to begin with. My mother sealed off my true gender just before she died to protect me from the subjection of CRA, Misaki said with as much seriousness as she could muster to make her one true love to believe her words. Naruto looked at his best friend strangely. What the heck was he talking about? Sasuke had gone insane. And could she stop trying to give him that insanely cute look she had mistakenly assumed as the Sasuke's serious no-nonsense face? Damn it, is she trying to seduce me? Convince me? Or maybe trying to explode my head with an elaborate genjutsu? That's it. It is all a dream, an illusion. Bastard must be pissed off at me for being stronger than him. Nice try, Sasuke, but you can't prank the prank master of Konoha. Two people can play the same game. You were trying to prove that I am a gay, but we will see what you would do when tables are turned on you. Should I break out of this genjutsu? No, why not play with him a little and show how it's really done? I will teach him a lesson he won't ever forget. I am so smart, Datbayo. Naruto thought smartly, or as smartly as some with his brain capacity could, as he made plans to gross out Sasuke, believing that everything to be a grand super-powered illusion created by Sasuke's Sharingan. Misaki was waiting for Naruto to process the vital information she had given him, though she had her fingers crossed as she knew that he still needed some time to grow up and mature, well, maybe a lot of time, but hey. They both were only 17 years old. She would make sure to guide him and help him to utilize the potential she knew he had to become the greatest shinobi to ever walk on the face of planet Earth. She just prayed to whoever god that exists to help her cause, as she was more than doubtful that Naruto's brain might stop functioning due to the overload of information, though it would be hilarious to see him getting knocked out by her revelation instead of his insane use of shadow clone jutsu. A passing god might have heard her, or she had believed, when suddenly Naruto lunged at her and held her flushed against his chiseled and manly chest. Misaki was so shocked that she might have pushed him away due to the sheer suddenness of his action, though as astonished as she was, her brain quickly deciphered the immediate matter. Naruto-kun is actually hugging me. He isn't mad at me, yay. Misaki rejoiced internally as Naruto pulled her closer and she finally snaked her arms around his now much wider shoulders to bury her face in Naruto's chest. I can hear his heartbeats, Misaki noted blissfully as she tried to concentrate on his heartbeats. His heart beating was strongly, so full of life and joy, just like her Naruto. Misaki suddenly sucked her breath in when she felt Naruto's strong big hands molding her luscious cheeks daringly. You need to breathe. Inhale, exhale, and inhale, Misaki reminded herself when Naruto's hands sinfully began to knead her supple flesh. Damn it, I am already this wet. What would become of me when Naruto-kun would finally make love with me? I might really reach the heavens if this is how my body reacts to mere caresses, Misaki thought deliriously, feeling high and intoxicated by Naruto's manly scent, but he smelled like ramen. Okay. So maybe she felt dizzy due to the amount of love she possessed for this stubbornly loyal, sweetly stupid, cute, handsome, dashing, ravishingly hot, okay. She had to stop or her head might explode from the embarrassment. For God's sake, when did I become so emotional? I knew I loved him for a long time. I even accepted that I am not good enough for him. I am tainted by revenge while he remained as pure as soul could ever stay. But now the mere thought of getting separated from him makes my heart ache so bad that I feel like I am suffocating. Is it because I finally let my feminine side out? Is this how much me, the real me, yearns for him? Misaki questioned herself as she felt her heart soar, then sink, then soar again and soar some more. The sheer intensity of her emotions baffled and scared her, but she didn't try to fight it like she always did. No, Misaki didn't fight it. She had finally accepted them. She had finally acknowledged her feminine side, and she was letting her feminine instinct dominate her every other rational thoughts as she admitted to the world and the gods above that Naruto mattered most to her, more than her revenge, more than her pride, more than her vanity, and more than her never-ending lust for power. To her he even mattered more than her very soul. Naruto never gave up on her when she already gave up on herself. He remained as the beacon of her hope and conviction until he finally won her over and dragged her back to his side, to the very place she wanted to stay forever. Naruto matters most to Misaki. You heard that, God. He means the world to me. No, he is more than world to me. He is the place where I can return to. He is my beacon of hope, my sun, my home and solace of my soul. The man I love the most in this very universe. Misaki almost sobbed as she finally accepted the truth she had been denying for so long. She had finally faced her soul and found him, only him, smiling blindingly at her with his mischievous sly smile, enlightening her very soul with the light, life, joy and happiness. At that very moment she realized that she would even sell her very soul to devil itself if it meant spending even another single moment with her one true love, her Naruto-kun. Misaki's Naruto-kun, her rival, her friend, her knight, her savior and hopefully lover. Chapter 5, Falling. At that very moment she realized that she would even sell her very soul to devil itself if it meant spending even one more single moment with her one true love, her Naruto-kun. Misaki's Naruto-kun, her rival, her friend, her knight, her savior and hopefully lover. Misaki was content, So elated that even Kurama, who hated Uchiha for the righteous reasons as their damned clan had enslaved him and his kins on several occasions and almost brought about the end of the world. But her joy and love for her host was so pure that he decided to stop Naruto from committing any heinous act, as it would be too cruel to let Naruto continue and do something that meant so much to this over-exhilarated and Kurama dared to think almost pure girl. I thought that it would be better to not interfere with their mating ritual, and it would have certainly provided me lots of entertainment and blackmail material, but alas, if I let Naruto run wild with such assumptions, he might seriously hurt this girl's feelings. She is nothing like that stoic monotone Uchiha bastard Sasuke. This girl Misaki is complete opposite of the person known as Sasuke. She doesn't have that overwhelming darkness in her. Her muscles are unused and unprepared to cope with her powerful chakra, but most of all she is pure from all the taints. If I remember correctly, the technique she used create two different personas. One body would grow up in an almost frozen time and space whilst feeding off energy from the other body that is on the other side. Her feminine instincts were buried and frozen along with her real personality. Her male counterpart, while still being she, it wasn't complete, it was broken and incomplete. She had also sealed off her feeling along with her body so she could overcome all the obstacles standing in her ways without compromising and complete her ultimate goal. Damn you, Uchiha. You better be grateful for this, you shitty brat. Kurama bellowed in his head as he forcefully summoned Naruto inside the seal. Inside the seal. Naruto, who was immensely enjoying Sasuke's illusion, was forcefully pulled in front of his buddy Kurama, who looked pretty pissed off. Hi, Kurama, I know you want to break this genjutsu, but don't let me get back at Sasuke first, Naruto blabbered out with mischievous smile. Kurama's sweat dropped and resisted the urge to face palm as he heard his host's brilliant deduction. Oh well, at least Naruto was learning to be cautious of illusions. Naruto, I would like nothing more than to kick your or seeing your handed to you by that vixen, but she seems quite fragile as it is, so as much as I hate her clan. In good of my conscience I can't let you take advantage of the delicate feelings of such pure young woman. Kurama deadpanned that last part in sarcastic tone, though he managed to convey his message clearly. He had clearly stated that Sasuke was actually a girl. Naruto was shell-shocked by revelation. He couldn't comprehend that Kurama had fallen for Sasuke's illusion as well. Oh shit. Kurama, you fell for his technique as well? Naruto asked dumbly whilst Kurama couldn't resist the urge to face palm anymore and finally did so. Oh, you are even hurting yourself. Just how powerful is the illusion Sasuke had used? Naruto shouted in panic whilst Kurama reminded himself that he actually liked Naruto for some reason he just couldn't remember right now, so he mustn't kill this blockhead idiot, and that girl would certainly go berserk if Naruto was harmed, as she seemed rather passionate about his host. Obsessive. Kurama tried a different approach as he knew Naruto would keep denying the truth if he kept beating around the bush, so he really had to do something that would convince Naruto that everything he was saying is true. Such a troublesome host, Kurama groaned inside his head as he finally came up with a concrete plan to finally convince Naruto. Naruto, Kurama uttered in his utmost serious voice and grinned at Naruto whilst extending his right fist. Naruto was startled, but when he saw the light grin and extended fist he automatically pumped his way smaller fist with Kurama's gigantic fist. They both held their position as they stared deep inside each other's eyes, and Naruto knew that this was his buddy Kurama and no one else. Naruto, I swear on our friendship that this girl is telling the truth. This girl is truly Sasuke, but in reality she was always a woman, and the technique she used does exist, and Sasuke truly was a girl, as that technique could only be used once in lifetime, and that was truly a release, not the activation, so Sasuke was always a girl inside out. That would also explain why she hit you when you tried to bath with her 5 years ago. That technique is perfect, but even that technique couldn't grow male genitals. Yup, she had her girl part or womanhood on her whole time. One more thing, everything she said is true, so you should seriously consider before proceeding any further, as she is in a very emotional state of mind right now. Naruto, you better not pass out, as this girl's muscles are almost as weak as a child, so she wouldn't be able to carry you. Kurama articulated each syllabus and word carefully and patiently as he prayed that Naruto's didn't pass out from the influx of information. Naruto's mind almost crashed, but before his system could truly crash, his eyes suddenly gained a hard edge. After hearing all that, he was certain that it was all true, as Kurama wouldn't lie to him, but he was uncertain to take any action as now everything appeared foreign to him, so he decided to concentrate on the fact that Sasuke was always a girl and she never told him her deepest secret, and for some reason Naruto felt an unrestrained fury deep inside his guts. Outside world. Misaki was still in bliss as she had no idea about the events that transpired inside Naruto's stomach, lol. So imagine her surprise when Naruto suddenly pushed her away. She tumbled back as her muscle memory was pretty much empty at the given moment. She looked up with hurt in her eyes but got startled when she saw Naruto's enraged expression. What the hell happened? Why is Naruto-kun so angry all of a sudden? Everything was going fine. We were supposed to be in the process of making first Uzumaki Uchiha baby, not my Naruto getting so angry at me. Misaki thought, perplexed by distraught by the sudden change in Naruto's demeanor. Oh shit. It seems Naruto is going to blow a gasket. Well, I did everything I could, Kurama thought and shrugged as he decided to watch the events unfold. Naruto-kun, what happened? Are you alright? Misaki mumbled in a small voice as she was more than just little scared of Naruto's reaction. Naruto's visage didn't change as he resisted the urge to clobber the beautiful angel sitting in front of him. If it was usual Sasuke in his usual male form, he would be in between a life or death match right now. Yup, he was that angry, but he couldn't bring to lift his hand against such delicate creature. She seemed so fragile that he felt the sudden urge to secure her in his arms, though he squashed the idea, even if barely. Right now he was angry with his best friend as he had lied to him, or rather he should say she. Sasuke, how could you lie to me for all this time? I thought we understood each other best. I told you everything about myself and I expected same from you. But it seems I was the only one who thought that. Well, it is to be expected as you've always kept me in the dark, whether it's your family, Itachi, Orochimaru, but even your damn gender. Naruto thought bitterly as he realized that how big of a fool he truly was to expect anything else from the cold-hearted bastard like Sasuke. Sasuke, you lied to me the whole time. Naruto asked, or rather stated in a small hurt tone as his usually shining eyes lost their spark, and Misaki felt a stab in her heart when she realized that she was the reason of it. Naruto, Misaki whispered softly as Naruto first time truly took in her beauty as a woman, not a transformation. She was divine. Sasuke was such bastard that his beauty had magnified tenfolds in the female form, or rather her true form. Well, if Sasuke was a downgraded camouflage, then it is to be expected that her true beauty would be this divine, Naruto thought absent-mindedly, though he quickly shook away such treacherous thoughts away. No, don't deny it. You had plenty of chances before, but you never confronted me. Naruto shouted in rage. You know what? I had enough. Hinata-chan is waiting for me, I am going. Naruto declared as he began to walk away. Naruto, no. Don't go away. Please listen to me. I just couldn't tell you before, but I am telling you now because I truly love you, Misaki sobbed out as she willed her weak and uncoordinated body to somehow wobble up on her feet. You're telling me now? Naruto snorted. Wow. Such fat lie. Now you just don't need hide your gender, and I was the one who invited you here, not you, so don't say you had any plan to reveal it to me first. I just happened to be there when you felt that you had enough hiding in the shell named Sasuke. Hey, what's your real name? I bet it's fake, right? Naruto asked in an accusing voice whilst Misaki's face gained a pained look. Naruto saw Misaki looking away, and that was the answer of his question. She didn't even trust him with her real name. Oh wow, how much she loves me, Naruto thought sarcastically as he disregarded the idea completely despite the entire thing that had transpired between them. If Naruto was thinking rationally, he would have saw the truth and remembered what she had told him before regarding her plans for her death, but he wasn't thinking rationally. Naruto was just running on the fumes of his anger and confusion. He just couldn't accept the reality. Naruto is losing control. Maybe I should help him to calm down. Kurama thought, though decided to wait for a bit. Naruto, please believe it's not what you think. I truly love, if you hadn't been there and I somehow survived all this, I wouldn't have ever released my female form. It's not like I had any attachment to it. I only did it to win you over. It wasn't my intention to ever hurt you, I swear. Misaki cried out. Why should I believe you? I don't even know your name, Naruto remarked snidely. My name is Misaki. Naruto's Misaki. Only you're Misaki, you big idiot. She screamed whilst clutching his shirt as she tumbled towards him, though Naruto paid no attention as he pushed her away and began to walk away. Misaki was startled when Naruto pushed her away. It wasn't like he shoved her away. Actually, it was a light push, but due to her uncoordinated muscles she kept pedaling backwards, and before she realized she was falling from the edge of the Hokage mountain. Naruto-kun, she whispered, almost confused as she couldn't even will her body to substitute as she began to free fall to her death. Chapter 6. Save me. Naruto-kun, she whispered, almost confused as she couldn't even will her body to substitute as she began to free fall to her death. Misaki's mind went little blank when she felt gravity pulling her down, and she could tell that she was falling fast. Her gorgeous black locks were tousling wildly in the strong wind current. She realized that she just passed Yondaimi's rocky chin, though luckily she didn't smash in it. It was a blessing that Minato Namikaze had spiky hairs. If she was sitting on any other Hokage's head, she would have likely hit a rocky nose or chin by now. Ah, what I am doing falling off a cliff at such crucial time. I need to get up there and convince Naruto-kun to not go to Hinata. I can always earn his forgiveness later, but first I should stop him from seeing Hinata. She is the only real competition I have for his attention, Misaki mused as she wasn't worried even a little bit. She had jumped a mountain 10 times higher than this and came out without a single scratch. Okay, here it goes, substitution jutsu. Misaki exclaimed, though she got startled when she realized that her chakra wasn't obeying her. What the hell is going on here? I can't summon my chakra at all, but it's still there inside me, so why? Shit. Due to my structural change, the ratio of my physical energy and spiritual energy has gone haywire. Now I can't produce more chakra until I get the balance between them right. The chakra I had in my chakra coils before I transformed isn't responding to my commands. Misaki cursed as she assessed the situation in an instant, proving why she was hailed as the genius among genius even by Uchiha standards. Shit. Naruto-kun, save me. Misaki cried as she was certain that she would die if she hit the ground at the current speed she was traveling at. This kind of fall might have bruised her lightly if she was in her male form, but in this untrained and soft body she would become nothing more than a scarlet stain on the ground. She was even weaker than a civilian in this state. With Naruto, this whole conversation takes place in few seconds at most, as times flow differently inside the seal. Whilst Misaki was busy falling to her death, Naruto was having a tantrum party inside his brain. He failed to register that his best friend had fallen off the cliff, though all blame couldn't be put on him as Kurama pulled him inside the seal as soon as Naruto pushed off Misaki and turned to leave. Kurama was a beast of destruction. Even if he didn't want to kill people, they still died, and Misaki in her current predicament appeared to be a perfect causality, though ironically Kurama wanted to help the poor girl and beat some sense in his moronic partner. Naruto, you stupid fleabag. I told you the truth to sort the matter, not for you to go and muck things up. I thought I shouldn't interfere, but no, you are still a dense idiot. Even I could tell that the Uchiha girl was telling the truth and her feelings were genuine. It was the sole reason I decided to intervene, and you had suddenly go and have pity party for yourself because she didn't tell you the truth, Kurama screamed at his idiotic container. What do you know? You've any idea how much it hurts to know that the person you thought is your brother in arms is actually a girl, and everything you knew about her was a lie. Every moment we share was just a false assumption I made. Even her name is a lie. I thought I knew Sasuke best and we understood the pain of loneliness. But I now realize that I was always lonely and her friendship was just an illusion all along. Naruto screamed in frustration as few tears streaked down from his eyes. Kurama could understand that Naruto was hurt, but he decided that Naruto's stubbornness would only cause him more pain, so he decided to help Naruto to sort out his feelings. Naruto, I can somewhat understand your pain and how you must have felt by yet another betrayal by the Uchiha brat, though now as a female. Thankful now you can't be considered a gay, or I might have applied your father's jutsu to seal away myself so you couldn't get your gayish hands on me, Kurama joked as Naruto in previous chapters had accepted that he had a gay crush on Sasuke. Naruto, despite the situation, he blushed a bit as he recalled accepting to Sasuke, Misaki, that he had feelings for her. I am not gay. She is a girl, so it doesn't count as gay. I was deceived by an evil woman. Naruto exclaimed in embarrassment. Kurama grinned ear to ear as Naruto finally realized what just had he uttered in front his demonic friend. Naruto face-palmed and blushed, though he again got angry when he realized why he was angry to begin with. Yes, he had been cheated by that gorgeous, angelic, ethereal, Arg. He got to stop that sinful woman from alluring him with her vile and, she does have most pretty eyes and long hairs just like my mother. She is so beautiful that calling her merely beautiful would just dirty her. Wow, I think I just stole the lines from another novel. Naruto wanted to pull his hairs due to frustration, and he did so as he began to rant about his conflicted feelings whilst Kurama calmly listened his tenant's mindless rumbling. Naruto, I am happy that you aren't gay, but just calm your head and think about all the things she told you before revealing her feminine form to you. I would have let natural course run, but you were about to make a huge blunder of the blessing you have been given. Even I can tell that this Misaki girl is a fine vixen and she is so deeply in love with you. So, instead of ruining your damn almost non-existent love life, just accept her. That Hinata girl might be a nice vixen, but you don't love her. You only wanted to respond to her feeling out of guilt rather than love, but you actually have feelings for this vixen and don't deny it. Kurama warned. She didn't even tell me her name and you proclaim that she loves me, Naruto shot back snidely. Kurama resisted the urge to squash Naruto under his massive paw and continued the special Kurama Council. After this, Kurama decided that he would open a therapy class to guide the clueless idiots. Naruto, you unbelievably dense idiot. You waste of a human space. Just listen to me and think for once. Kurama bellowed, making Naruto flinch and glare at his humongous kitsune friend. But Kurama kept glaring back and Naruto finally relented as he began to go over the conversation Misaki and he had. She said that she didn't kill me in the Valley of the End because she liked even back then, but she tried to kill me. No, if I really think about it, she could have shoved the Chidori in my heart. Her Sharingan must have captured my moments. So, she just wanted to knock me out. She also said that she wanted me to hate her because she was tainted, and she also said that she planned to die after killing Danzo and only got her ocular powers to save me. She actually cares that much about me. Naruto was suddenly feeling really funny and began to calm down as he remembered her final words. My name is Misaki. Naruto's Misaki. Only you're Misaki, you big idiot. Naruto was now blushing. Kurama grinned when he saw his host blushing furiously. It appeared Idiot finally managed to process the information. Naruto, go out and clear out the misunderstanding with your vixen. You also better cut off connection before proceeding to ravish her voluptuous form. I would rather not see my host unleashing his dark carnal desires, and on the side note, be gentle with her. She is very vulnerable in her female form. I think it would take her few months before she can even shape any chakra and years before she regains her control over her true power, Kurama teased Naruto whilst also warning him about Misaki's condition. Naruto nodded guiltily as he recalled the callous way he had pushed off the distressed girl. He decided that he would apologize and listen to Misaki's whole story before blowing off like a little kid. Though, soon he would realize that it was already too late to make amends for his deeds. Preview, Naruto noticed that he was all alone on his father head and a certain sexy vixen was missing. Where could she have gone? According to Kurama, she can't even walk yet. Naruto pondered, though his eyes widened when he heard a very distressed plea for help. Chapter 7, A Sense of Vertigo. Naruto's eyes slowly fluttered, though he immediately noticed that he was all alone on his father head and a certain sexy vixen was missing. Where could she have gone? According to Kurama, she can't even walk yet. Naruto pondered, though his eyes widened when he heard a very distressed plea for help. Shit. Naruto-kun, save me. What the hell? Naruto shouted in confusion as it was defiantly Misaki's voice and quickly peered down to saw her almost at ground level, seemingly free falling with fear etched on her gorgeous face. Shit. Naruto, you dumb blonde, save her. In her delicate condition she would die from such impact. Go dive quickly, think later. Kurama all but screamed in Naruto's head. Naruto needed no further instruction as his body quickly responded to Misaki's pleas and Kurama's warning as he dove after her at astonishing speeds. How come she fell? Shit. She must have fallen when I shoved her. Naruto, you dummy. Big idiot of an oaf. How can I push her when she is in such weak physical state? Naruto cursed himself as he used his chakra clock to reach her quickly. Misaki sighed as she saw Naruto's form rapidly approaching her, and she smiled a bit, though she frowned a little bit when she saw Naruto's guilt-ridden face as he approached her falling ass. "It's not your fault, oh big lovable oaf of mine." Misaki reprimanded her idiot blonde in her head as she extended her hands towards him, as he was just a hair breadth away from her and she really wanted to reward him saving her life. She could be very grateful and naughty. She smiled saucily at him, though right then something horrible occurred. Both Misaki's and Naruto's eyes widened when Misaki's chakra violently reacted to Naruto's chakra cloak and lashed out at Naruto with such force that Naruto was pushed back by the sheer force, as he wasn't expecting it, and going by Misaki's expression, she wasn't the one to do it. "Her chakra deemed you a threat." "Oh shit." Kurama growled as Naruto righted himself midair and leapt again, but it was already too late, as right in front of his very eyes Misaki made contact with the solid ground, but due to her chakra outbreak she slowed down a bit. "Fuck." Misaki cussed as she finally made contact with the solid unforgiving ground and immediately blacked out as pain exploded in every single nerve of her body. Naruto was the last thing in her mind as Misaki slumbered in a deep sleep. "Misaki!" Naruto screamed at top of his lungs as he hovered over her fallen form, as a pool of blood began to form around them as the life-giving fluid seeped through her broken and mangled body. Naruto had the strangest sense of vertigo as his brain tried to comprehend all the things that had transpired within the last few minutes. Misaki confession that she was Misaki, kissing her, arguing with her, pushing her, and now, this horrifying nightmare. No. Naruto was nearly hyperventilating as he gathered her broken form in his arms. "Naruto, get your vixen to that pink-haired banshee you call a friend," Kurama ordered in near panic as he could feel Misaki's life force fading right before Naruto's very eyes and by extension his eyes. Naruto quickly gathered his wits and gently adjusted Misaki in his arms while trying not to further agitate her injuries as she kept on losing her blood all over him. Naruto automatically activated the Sage mode despite the raging storm inside his heart, soul and brain as he located Shizune, Tsunade and Sakura all in one place. Hokage's office, Naruto all but flashed there as he startled the three beautiful women with his sudden appearance. Naruto. What the hell? Tsunade and Sakura screeched at him, already getting ready to pummel Naruto, though they got startled when Naruto quickly lashed out and sent one of Anbu flying as he tried to sneak up on him. Other Anbus wisely stepped down as they recognized the great hero Naruto, though they were a little wary and were looking out from broken window to see if their pal Anbu Alpha was still breathing or not. Tsunade eyes widened when she spotted a mangled form of a young female in Naruto's arms. Naruto. Tsunade started but was cut off by Naruto as he forcefully took all three ladies by use of seal-less clones and in a second brought them to the hospital. They all were little dazed but recovered quickly as Naruto jolted them and asked them to save the girl he had in his arms. Granny. Sakura. Shizune, nay. Please save Misaki. Naruto pleaded with teary eyes as he pleaded to them to save the young girl, his eyes glossy with tears. Medic Nin training quickly kicked in as they immediately began to examine the girl while nurses broke out of their stupor and began to prepare the equipments and room for their new patient. Naruto, quickly bring her inside, Tsunade instructed Naruto as she opened the door to special medical emergencies room. Naruto quickly followed inside along with Sakura and Shizune. Naruto gently laid Misaki on the bed and reluctantly stepped back but stayed close as he was unwilling to leave her side no matter what, but knew not to hinder the medical process. Naruto, you should leave. We will take it from here, Sakura instructed as she gently tried to move Naruto, but Naruto refused to budge an inch and actually growled at her with demonic red eyes when she tried to push him. Sakura, let him be. Help me with the girl. She in very critical condition, Tsunade ordered in a grave voice as she began to work on the girl. Chances of her survival are very slim, but I won't give up on a patient until there are mine dying breath, Tsunade thought grimly as she began the healing process. Sakura got startled not just by her master words but Naruto's gut-wrenching sob. Sakura could literally feel Naruto's pain, and despite everything Naruto was her brother in all but blood, and she too felt like crying when she gazed upon the bleeding body of the girl she had just seen first time in her life, but she didn't seem like a stranger at all. To Sakura she appeared familiar, like some long-lost friend or maybe even family. Sakura shook her head, reminding to concentrate on her job rather than strange feelings the raven-haired girl was arousing in her as Naruto too controlled his emotions and began to sniffle lightly as he gazed at the broken girl like she was the most precious jewel in the world. Sakura had no doubt that at this moment Naruto could fight both Madara and Kagaya blindfolded if it were to save this girl's life, and Sakura resolved to save the girl's life no matter what. So, she decided to ask question like who was this girl and why Naruto was crying for this unknown girl like she was his whole world, and why he was acting like if the girl died he would die as well. Sakura shuddered at the last thought as she would rather die to live in a world without her loudmouth friend, and unconsciously thought about Sasuke as she moved in to help her master and gazed at the still face of the raven-haired beauty Naruto had just brought in. Chapter 8. Sakura's Resolve. Thoughts Humans. Biju talks and thoughts. Talking humans. So, it's been a while. No beta, so sorry for mistakes. Thanks for your love and support. Here goes nothing. Sorry, white up the fem Sasuke name. I just got caught in one of my previous idea and kinda mixed them up. It's quite a long since IAST wrote anything. Sakura shook her head as she began to work on the young woman's mangled body, though she got startled when she along with Tsunade and Shizune got pushed back by what seemed like an extremely powerful shield of chakra. What the hell? Sakura muttered whilst Naruto immediately appeared behind her as he too stared at the chakra shield in pure horror. Naruto. What the hell happened? Why her chakra is repelling us back, and who is she? Her chakra is off the charts and she isn't even conscious right now, Tsunade screeched, though her ire was more out frustration as the young woman needed every precious second and her lashing chakra was diminishing even the slim chance girl had for survival. Naruto was about to answer, but before Naruto could respond, Sakura finally recognized the chakra she had felt thousands of times in her life. Naruto, why this girl has Sasuke's chakra running through her? Sakura managed to utter out as something began to click inside her head, though she wanted to be sure before jumping the gun. Naruto was silent for a second as he gazed at Misaki, though before he could have said anything Kurama pulled Naruto inside his inner world. Naruto, quickly bring those women here, I will show them your memories and I will explain what's wrong with her chakra so they can perform their healing art as quickly as possible, and it will also save us a lots of time, Kurama instructed as Naruto rapidly nodded before disappearing and reappearing in his inner world with Sakura, Tsunade and Shizune. What's up with all your invisibility acts today, you brat? Tsunade snapped as Naruto again brought her somewhere without giving her a chance to get her bearings right, though she did quiet down when she saw Kurama's humongous structure in front of her. Naruto, what are we exactly doing here? We don't have much time to waste. Shizune chided as she too gathered her bearings from sudden change in scenery. Time here flows differently than it does in outer world, so you won't lose any time at all, so please see the memory I am showing you, and Tsunade was it. You can deduce what's wrong with that Uchiha girl's chakra. And no interruptions, Kurama added when he saw that Sakura was about to protest, and Sakura immediately complied as she too wanted to know more about the young woman who was fighting for her life on the other side, and if this helped then she wasn't about make a complaint. Kurama slowly began to show them what had transpired between Misaki and Naruto. Sakura, Shizune and Tsunade were stunned as they witnessed the whole scene unfolding in front of their very eyes, especially Sakura as she had a crush on Sasuke for the longest time. Sakura felt hurt that Misaki had hidden something this big from them, and she could understood why Naruto was so angry with Misaki, though she too gasped when she saw Misaki falling off the Hokage mountain and hit the unforgiving grounds in her weakened state as Naruto desperately tried his best to save Misaki, though he ultimately failed when Misaki's chakra pushed him away, and they had their answer as to why Tsunade was pushed back by Misaki's chakra, as it deemed anyone approaching with chakra a risk and pushed back to save Misaki. It was just an instinct engraved in Misaki's chakra, as she had conditioned herself to protect from sneak attacks, though in its confused state her chakra couldn't differentiate ally from foe. It's all my fault, Naruto whispered out as he took in the whole scene again and saw Misaki's mangled body laying still on the blood-stained ground. Sakura too felt her breath hitch as she finally managed to get her bearings, though she was still shaken. It wasn't your fault, Naruto, and believe when I say this, I would have kicked her knowing that she hid her damn gender from me despite being aware of my crush on her, and I will kick her ass. It would be so easy as she now can't even control her own chakra along with her weak infant-like body. Sakura pumped up her fist and added, But first I got go and save her fat so you both disturbingly weird couple can give me some beautiful blonde Uchiha nieces and nephews to spoil. You've to name your female child Sakura, understood? Sakura threatened whilst cracking her fist. Naruto gratefully cracked a strained smile at her comment. Please Sakura-chan, save her, I won't be able to ever forgive myself if something happened to her. Naruto begged in a hoarse voice as some tears leaked from his pleading blue eyes. Sakura choked as well when she heard Naruto's voice. It was so broken and sorrowful that it almost broke her heart, but she managed to give him a small grin. Leave it to me. I will save her no matter what, it's a promise. Sakura spoke with conviction as her eyes hardened with determination. Sakura, I would like to save her as well, but how are we supposed to heal her when her chakra wouldn't let us get close to her? Tsunade asked in inquest manner as she too stormed her brain in order to get any idea to help the dying girl. Master, I dealt with a similar case, though not chakra related, it was more body immune related, as poison had fooled the body to act against the antidote, so we had shut the whole immune system whilst maintaining all the body function through healing jutsu, Sakura explained whilst Tsunade and Shizune's eyes widened. Yes, that could work as we can touch her without using chakra, so we can seal her chakra, but her chakra isn't just in her core but in her whole body. To top it off, it's confused, so how would it work? Tsunade questioned as she ran the simulation in her head, though Misaki's chance of survival remained at 0% in all the scenarios. And her chakra is the one thing keeping her barely alive at the moment, Shizune added, though quickly regretted as Naruto let out soul-wrenching sob. Naruto, don't worry. Trust me, and you're right my lady, but I didn't provide the support to patient's body the whole time whilst other took out the poison. I simply stopped the cells till they recognized the true danger and let them assist me. Sakura explained as she stared at her master. Tsunade finally understood what Sakura was getting at, but she still had her doubts. Sakura, you're asking me to put an open-ended, creation rebirth seal on her forehead along with a chakra conversion seal and on top it off with a chakra trapping seal. It sounds good on theory, but it's not practical. First off, all she has too much chakra even without her unresponsive and under now developed chakra core. Second, her body is completely different than it was before, and from what I know she doesn't even know how to use creation rebirth or any healing technique for that matter. Tsunade said in a regretful tone as she saw Naruto's face crumble as the hope Sakura's plan brought died down after her explanation. Lady Tsunade, all you've to do is place seal on her without alerting her chakra and as quickly as you can. I will use the converted chakra to command her body to heal her, and her extra chakra will probably attack me, but now I know what to look out for, so I can release my seal to hold it at bay. I know it's dangerous, but we need you to maintain the seal as I am not great at seals and Naruto is still not good enough with them to apply them simultaneously, especially considering his mental state. I will be okay, and Naruto, for this you can't be present anywhere near us as her chakra would most likely react more violently to you due to your battle history and strength. Sakura said in a voice that left no room for argument as she stared right in Naruto's eyes as if asking him to trust her just this one time. Sakura-chan, you'll save her, right? Naruto questioned as he stared at her face for any doubts. Sakura smiled confidently at him and nodded, not a single shadow of doubt in her eyes. Then I leave her in your hand, Naruto whispered as he gave her a small genuine smile as he prepared himself to get back in the real world as they can't spend any more time in here as time still moved outside the seal even if slowly. Okay, Sakura, start preparing yourself for the procedure. Shizune, you try to stabilize her with traditional means. Naruto, you stay there and prepare to leave the room and I will go get the seals ready. I will need half hour to get everything ready. Any question? No, good. Now, Kurama, please bring us back to the real world. Tsunade ordered as she began to mentally prepare herself. Kurama nodded as he too liked the Pinket's plan. Save her Sakura Haruna and this Kurama will forever be in your debt, Kurama said as he stared at the young woman he had always deemed useless. If she succeeded then he would always be in her debt and never ever disrespect her again. Sakura nodded as she began to mentally prepare herself as Kurama pushed them out from Naruto's gloomy mindscape. Real world. Tsunade immediately bolted out of room whilst Sakura began to concentrate her chakra in her rebirth seal. Shizune quickly began to give Misaki antidote and potions to stop the bleeding whilst Naruto took Misaki's hand and began to pray. Please, God, save her. I never asked you for anything. Just get her better. If you want my soul, I will gladly depart from the realm of living. Just please spare her. Naruto begged to heavens as he cradled Misaki's delicate hand and cried silent tears, though Sakura could see his tears. Don't worry, Naruto, I will save her no matter what. You always came through for me. So, now it's my turn. I will save you both even if I have to put my life on the line. Sakura thought as vowed to save her teammates even if she had to forfeit her own life to do so. Chapter 9, A Pure Smile. Thoughts Humans. Biju talks and thoughts. Talking humans. So, it's been a while. No beta, so sorry for mistakes. Thanks for your love and support. Here goes nothing. Don't worry, Naruto, I will save her no matter what. You always came through for me. So, now it's my turn. I will save you both even if I have to put my life on the line. Sakura thought as vowed to save her teammates even if she had to forfeit her own life to do so. Sakura kept a calm face as she stared at Naruto and Sayuri as she silently prepared herself and ran the simulation again in her head. Sakura knew she had the best chance to accomplish the task as her chakra control was even better than her lady, Tsunade-sama. At this moment she didn't even think that she would fail. No, she couldn't fail and she wouldn't fail. All her life she was useless to Naruto. She barely pulled her weight as the member of the legendary Team 7 member. Her teammates were just too awesome, but this was why she decided to become a medic ninja. Her great chakra control and her respect for Lady Tsunade. Sakura, are you ready? I'm finishing up the Sei and Sayuri's chakra will immediately start going crazy as I draw the last kanji, Tsunade asked in a worried tone. Tsunade actually wanted to take the risk herself, but she knew Sakura had surpassed her as medic. Many would have found Sakura lacking in comparison to her teammates, but to Tsunade, Sakura was the perfect student and a daughter. She treasured Sakura more than even Naruto. Sakura smiled, reassuring her worried mentor as she turned to Naruto. Naruto, go out and don't come near this room no matter what happens. Also take Lady Tsunade and Lady Shizune with you, Sakura ordered with a determined look on her face as stopped Tsunade from drawing the last kanji. Tsunade looked shocked, so did Shizune, but Sakura shut them up with a look as she stared at Naruto's face. This goofy face should always have smile on it, Sakura mused with an amused expression on her calm face. Tsunade appeared conflicted and wanted to protest, but Sakura just had such expression on her face that Tsunade couldn't bring herself to contradict Sakura. When it seemed that Shizune would complain, Tsunade put her hand up as she gazed up at the young woman she had trained for last few years. Her protégé Sakura Haruna. Okay, Brat and Shizune were in the way, let us leave so Sakura can work in the peace, Tsunade commanded as she grabbed both Naruto and Shizune. Please Sakura-chan, save her, Naruto murmured as tore his eyes of Sayuri's body. Sakura smiled and nodded, gave him a thumbs up before Tsunade dragged them away. Though her smile vanished as soon as they went out of the room. Sakura turned and faced Sayuri before smiling bitterly. You better treat that idiot well. Who? I'm kidding. You both are idiots. Just so you know, I'm going to hold a grudge until you name a daughter in my honor. Though to be honest, you're pretty hot even as girl, so my crush wasn't completely wasted on your sorry ass, Sakura thought in amusement. Hey, Sasuke, no Sayuri. You better stop being Anto Naruto. He already did everything he could for you, now it's your turn. Just like it's my turn to return little bit off favor, I own that idiot. Sakura chuckled out loud as she finally picked up brush to precisely draw the last kanji. As soon as Sakura connected the last line, the seal came to life, so did Sayuri's chakra. Sakura immediately unleashed her own seal and began to redirect Sayuri's chakra in the rebirth seal, but Sayuri's chakra lashed out at Sakura and almost blew her away. Despite all the chaos, Sakura stayed firm as her chakra kept her planted on the floor. Sakura began to guide the rampant chakra into the seal and began to try stimulating the rebirth function of the seal. Sakura failed. Your chakra is as rebellious as you were, Sakura cursed in her mind, but she didn't give up as she already knew that this would happen, otherwise she wouldn't be forced to clear out the room. Sayuri's chakra ran rampant as it hurt both Sakura and Sayuri, but Sakura kept healing up Sayuri a little each time despite the new damage her chakra caused. On the other hand, there were no medics near Sakura to heal her injuries as Sayuri's chakra burned and electrocuted her. Though Sakura paid no attention to her own injuries, even as she felt her nerve getting fried up, her flesh bubbled up and melted away. At this moment Sakura felt no pain as she kept an eerie amount of focus and kept on healing Sayuri. The whole room smelled off the rotting flesh and burnt off hairs as Sakura began to lose her hairs and even clothes. This kept going on for next few hours as Sakura slowly but surely healed Sayuri. Now I just need to break the seal and then I can rest, Sakura thought as she broke the seal formula and got flung away when chakra escaped the seal. Suddenly OR room's door was flung open and Noro's horrified face was the last thing Sakura saw as she tried to give Naruto a reassuring smile but failed as she fell unconscious. Sakura wasn't even awake as Naruto picked her up with Kurama's chakra as Tsunade and Shizune screamed and ran to her almost fleshless body. Neither she saw the look of horror on Sayuri's face as she finally cracked open her eyes and turned to look at commotion with a dazed face. Sakura Haruno, though unrecognizable as she may had been at that moment. She had a small satisfied smile on her face. It was such a beautiful smile, childish and pure as if she had conquered the whole world. Sakura had finally did something for Naruto, her lovable goofy brother in all but blood. As her smile faded so did her heartbeat. Damn, I'm cruel TT. Don't know about next update but I'm using my phone to type so don't expect good writing. Naruto the true legend.